Hey everybody, how's it going? So I used to do videos where I went over, kind of like repair shop, customer servicey type stuff or business stuff or employee stuff. I haven't really done those in a while. I was reading this one subreddit that's pretty good. I suggest people check it out if they're in the device repair industry. It's Reddit r/mobile repair. And I just wanted to give my insight on something this is something that's helped me a lot. It helped me early on when I would lose customer trust by just quoting a basic price that I thought was fair for something. And it's something that I try to teach to the new people that start here so that they're able to give customers a bit of a better experience. So this says, user always knows best, and I didn't have it show up on screen because I suck at YouTube. Here we go. It says, just had the following conversation paraphrased the other day. Customer coming in. How much is it to fix the glass on my LG V something? It doesn't look like we've done that repair before, but that's a fused display, so the repair would be $179 plus tax. Customer. Seriously? That's ridiculous. I can buy the glass lens and digitizer for $37 online. Me. Yeah, unfortunately the part's kind of expensive. You can try that route if you want, but you have to separate and readhere the display. Yeah, whatever, I've done this before. Click. Yeah, and then he says, yeah, so I'm waiting for him to come in. LOL. Implying that the guy's going to fuck it up, which, let's face it, if you're in this industry, most of the time when you get that phone call, that's exactly what happens. And you have a little smirk on your face when that person walks in, kind of ashamed for the fact that they were rude to you over the phone. Anyway, so this is what I posted, and I'll explain the whole why behind it later. So I said, in my opinion, you're approaching this in a way that's going to cause conflict. Always get ahead of the customer. Anticipate what instincts are going to kick in. If an instinct is going to kick in, that will cause an adverse reaction. And do the job of that instinct on behalf of the customer. Here's an example. My response would be, too much. Way too much. My combo would go like this. Customer calling in. How much is to just fix the glass lens in my LG V something? Me. Too much. Way too much. Customer. What do you mean? Me. That device has a fused screen, and they are insanely expensive. I have two choices for you, and they both suck. Are you ready? Customer. All right. Me. Behind door number 1, I can buy just the lens by itself. And since we don't do glass-only repairs on fused screen devices, I'll probably destroy the phone. This isn't really the proper way to do it anyway, but it can work if you have about 10 or 20,000 in specialized tooling for it and lots of experience doing it. Behind door number 2, I can do it the proper way of replacing the entire LCD. But that's insanely expensive because of the high cost of the screens for those. Even the people who do glass only will probably charge close to that because you're making up for the cheaper part cost with a much more labor-intensive process. Customer. Oh, damn. Me. Well, I can refer you to a place that does glass only repairs if you want that, but I doubt they'll be much cheaper. The part is cheaper, but the job then becomes 10 times harder, so you wind up paying for that. Customer. Well, thanks. Click. Now, obviously, this is a hypothetical conversation I'm posting here, but this is a conversation that I've had many times with my own customers. Not with the LG phone, because I don't do screen repairs on this, so if they were literally calling me, I would just say, this is not something I do. I would try this other place out. But if this was a repair that I would do, this is how I would posit it. And I said, my explanation is, he thinks you're trying to rip him off. The response is not coming from the belief that he knows how to repair the device better than you. That's what he's telling you. It's coming from his natural instinct to protect his wallet. All of the passive-aggressive, I know better than you, I'll show you attitude is stemming from his protect my wallet instinct, which is a healthy instinct to have. Unfortunately, when poorly channeled, this instinct results in people destroying their device out of some I'll show you misplaced pride. That does neither of you any good. If someone else is protecting his wallet, like you, then he doesn't have to. So you protect his wallet. So what I mean there is the customer, when they hear a high price, they're saying, it's just the lens, it's just the glass, why is it so much? They're trying to protect their wallet because they don't know anything about this industry. They think that every place they call is going to try to rip them off. They're used to independent mechanics that try to rip them off, or independent, contractors or the Eugenes of the world that is going to screw them over. Lots of people are used to that stereotype of the handyman that's going to rip them off. So what they do is they prep for that by using this type of language, and they have that instinct, that protect my wallet instinct going on. Now, if you respond to them in a way that doesn't show that you're trying to sell them something, where you say, give them a price, you just say, listen, that's probably too much, you're actually pushing them against doing the repair because you're saying too much without even giving the information. What that does is that calms their protect my wallet instinct. And you have to understand it's the protect the wallet instinct that is causing them to be an asshole to you. So if you can put that at bay, you can then keep them from acting in this way and not having trust for you. It also generates trust. So either I'm asking for a price, I'm trying to give you money and you don't even want to take my money? Okay, well, maybe you're not a salesman. Maybe you actually want to help me. That gets the customer to believe that you're on their side. And frankly, if you're a repair shop, you should be on their side because you want their long-term business. So I said, if someone else is protecting his wallet like you, he doesn't have to. So you protect his wallet. Now, this is another point that's important. The customer's vocabulary is letting you know before anything else that they are in a protect my wallet mode and likely to become bitterly defensive. You know he sees this as cheap because he called it a lens instead of calling it a screen. When someone calls it a lens or a cover, that is reductive language that is communicating to you that they believe this should be cheap, and that if it isn't cheap, they will think they're being robbed. Just to be clear, I have never had someone in the 12 years I've been in business, never had someone who said who called it a cover, pay for service. Ever. No one has ever walked into my store and said, I want to replace the cover on my screen, the cover on my laptop, and actually had it replaced. Ever. Never has someone done that. They've usually one of two things has happened. Either A, they get mad and act like I'm ripping them off and leave, or B, they don't. If I explain it to them like this, they go, okay, thanks, now I know, and they leave, and they're understanding. Because when they use the word cover, they think that that's as easy as like taking a case off of foam. Because what is a cover? A cover is something that goes over something. A cover is like, the thing you throw over your motorcycle when you think it's going to rain. A cover is a case you put on your phone that you snap on that costs $5. That type of reductive language signals to me that they think this should be cheap. So I shouldn't bum rush them with an expensive price. Rather, I should explain to them why it probably won't be worth it in a way that's where it kind of sounds like I don't want their money, so that they don't think I'm a salesman. So that tells me, that reductive language tells me they're already in I need to protect myself against the salesman mode. So what I need to do is I need to preempt them. You always want to preempt the customer. I want to preempt them by letting them know, I'm not even interested in selling you. I'm not a salesman. I have no interest in it. And that's what I'm doing here. And it's important that you notice this reductive language. And there's many different ways it can be used. So let's say someone has a machine. They say, it's not turning on. I need a fuse replaced. Well, fuse is a 50-cent item. And replacing a fuse is easy, which means that the labor is only going to be like $2 or $5, right? And if they have a machine that they just spilled a bunch of crap on, you know damn well if you watch my videos, it's not going to be a fuse. If anything, the fuse is the only effing product in a MacBook that never blows. Anyway, that's a rant for a different video. That type of reductive language shows you that you should be prepared for that person thinking you're a ripoff or assuming that you're going to try and sell them something expensive. So you want to preempt it. You want to get around it. And the way you get around it is by saying, yeah, it's probably going to be too much. And honestly, that's you don't want me to do that anyway. Because what that does is it opens an opportunity for a conversation. If you just give the price up front, they're assuming you're a salesman, they're becoming defensive, and then you don't have the opportunity to have that conversation. When I say, you don't want me to do that, I would be ripping you off if I did that. Wait, what? Why? Well, there's no blown fuse in this machine, so if I replace the fuse, you're going to be paying $50 or $100 for me to replace something that works, and I don't think you'd be happy with that. Then once we get rid of the defensiveness, then we can start having a conversation. I said here, you defang the snake by protecting his wallet for him. It's too much shows that you have zero interest in making a sale. So long as you show enthusiasm and interest in the call, it won't be seen as disrespecting the customer. It keeps their wallet instinct at bay. Then all the negative aspects of the conversation that tend to come when dealing with someone who is defending their wallet go away. You can still be a salesman while protecting the wallet of the customer. Whatever they were going to spend, they were going to spend anyway. You're not going to change his mind about wanting to get his lens fixed if he had X dollars in mind for the repair, so you might as well make him feel good about the decision. The less someone is on guard, the more likely they are to spend money. So if someone had a budget of $50 or something, and they came into the store at $50, and you tell them it's going to be $1,000, you're not going to sell them on the $1,000 repair. There's no hard sale there. This is the real red pill when it comes to hard sales, is that the amount of money that they were going to spend, whatever amount of money they're going to spend, it's going to be at its max when they're comfortable. So if you make someone comfortable, you can't change the amount of money that they were going to spend at whatever state they're in. But what you can do is you can change their state or their comfort level, which will then adjust the amount of money that they're going to be willing to spend. So I said, you can still be a salesman while protecting the wallet of the customer. Now, I said, once I hit around 500 phone calls a day, I realized I didn't feel like having conversations with dozens of people who now newly hate me. It turns me into a very cynical, miserable person. Getting ahead of my customers, defanging their instincts for self-preservation by being their advocate, was key to having quality interactions that didn't make me want to off myself after a day of customer service. If my day were just, how much to fix that? 500. Wow, that's an effing ripoff! Thank you, come again, I'd be in a padded room by now, or at least in prison for murdering my customers. Who can deal with 10 hours of that every day? I don't have it in me for the day in, day out grind of being the asshole, although it's fun to play one on television or YouTube. Most of the time, we're delivering garbage news, so you need a strategy for it. Yeah, I know you think it's a cable, but it's actually the screen. Yeah, I know you think it's warranty, you cracked it again. Yeah, I know you think there's no water damage, the entire thing is corroded. Yeah, I know you asked me to replace your keyboard, but your motherboard is corroding and has a bunch of liquid damage from the water that caused your keyboard to not work. I'm surprised this still works, and there's no way in hell I'm replacing the keyboard and just doing that because you're going to file a chargeback when the whole machine dies. Our day is spent all day in, day out, giving people garbage news. And properly managed, it can be less miserable. Even if they say no, they walk away not feeling like calling you means they're getting screwed. So you don't want the customer, even if they just walk out and go, okay, to think, they tried to charge me $170, rip off, and then tell all their friends that you're a rip off. Because even if you think you had a good interaction in the store, this is something that happens to a lot of noobs. They'll have a decent reaction. The person will leave after having a decent reaction in the store, and they'll leave a 1-star review for the store. And they wonder, well, I didn't think that reaction was that bad. In reality, inside their head, this was brewing, and it caused them to believe that you were trying to rip them off. I said our day is spent in day in, day out giving people garbage news. Properly managed can be less miserable. Even if they say no to the repair, they walk away not feeling like calling you meant they're getting fucked, and they might just come back and refer someone later. And this is important. This is key. Now, sometimes, maybe, just maybe, there were gullible people who, if I just said the price is $800 and they said, what? I thought it was $2. No, it's $8. Okay, fine, I'll pay $8. Maybe sometimes I've left some money on the table by taking this approach. But I feel that in the long term, it builds trust with my customers, and people are going to spend money, and they're also going to refer you to others when they feel comfortable. You want your customers to feel comfortable. You should be an advocate for your customers. And the way to be the best advocate for your customers is to explain to them if you believe that they believe that they're getting screwed, that they shouldn't spend money until they actually understand the entire situation. This is the strategy that I take with my customers. I, on a regular basis, tell people not to give me money, or why they shouldn't give me money, or why something costs too much. In spite of that, my business has grown from just being me to 2 employees, to 4 employees, to 10 employees, to 15 employees, to 20 employees, and then, well, thanks COVID, all the way back to 15, maybe 14. Who knows? Maybe 14 or 13 soon. We'll see. This is something that I see a lot of people in the beginning get wrong. And this is one of the very few areas of social skills where I think I actually get something right. It's shown in the reviews. It's shown in the business growth over time. It's shown in the fact that 4 of the repair shops that used to be open in my area have closed since I moved in, whereas mine has quadrupled in size. It's weird because when I actually go to parties, or I go to meetup groups, or I try to ask someone out on a date, or I go on a first date, or when I'm meeting other people, I'm fairly awful at socialization, and it's weird to me because this stuff would be the stuff that I figured I would be horrible at because I'm horrible at socialization, but for some reason I wind up understanding the dynamics of these relationships way better than I understand the dynamics of my actual personal life, which in many cases over the past several 10, 20 years has been a complete and utter dumpster fire. Anyway, that's it for today. As always, I hope you learned something. I may post these videos more often as I find stuff like this with just some of my opinions and thoughts over the years. This is something that, again, has been incredibly helpful. It's really easy to not want to do this. And the reason is, if you get 500 calls a day, you don't want to have a conversation with 500 people. You want to quote a price, thank you, come again, get off the phone, next customer. And it's really easy to get lazy with this, but if you get lazy with this, the problem is that there are people out there who have good reason to not trust repair shops because they've been screwed over by contractors or repair people before. And the way I see it is I want to undo all that shit. I want to undo all of that distrust and mistrust that people have for our industry and for the people in it. And the way you do that is by putting the work in. And my findings has been over the years that this style of communication, it pays dividends and it gains you loyal customers that will actually go to you even if you cost more than the guy down the street. The guy down the street may want 200, you may want 250, but if someone believes that they're not getting screwed over when they speak to you, they're getting the honest truth, they'll pay the extra 20% to go to you. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think that's actually 25%, but I can't do math. See you in the next video. Bye now.